Okay, y'all. It is Tuesday morning, man, and boy, it's wet. Um, I'm not sweating it though because I know that this brings work. I'd rather have 3 days of straight rain than 3 weeks without any rain. So it's a small price to pay, and it's not like you're going to lose the money unless, well, you're not going to lose the money unless you can't keep up once things get back to rolling again. Or if you've taken the money that you've been making and you've been living high on the hog and you ain't got nothing tucked back to where you can't hold out. I saw a guy at the gas station when I went and got groceries, and he was saying that he had his rig, mower, and everything. He's saying that he had 6 yards to go cut, that he had to cut them today. And I thought to myself, dude, really? Yeah, and I don't know his circumstances or nothing, but he said he was a full-time guy out here. And the full-time guy's not going to be out here in this kind of shit cutting grass, man. But he said he was, and he said it was residential. So I don't know of any of my customers, and my customers are not picky, that would want me to come do their property today. And it, and if there was one, then on a route, I wouldn't go do it because, well, then I'm not doing any of the other ones on that route. I mean, sometimes you just got to pump the brakes and hang tight, So I appreciate the views on the video yesterday, and I am getting a lot of blowback from some of the Skag guys, and look, man, Skag's a good mower, don't get me wrong. I just prefer not to have to grease everything, and especially if you got guys working for you, and you're dependent on them to do all that maintenance. They're not going to do it. Not that I've seen. I got a disclaimer, so that takes me out of the realm. But the few things I want to do today, are trying to do something constructive, positive every day. That it's raining. Something to move the needle a little bit. And we may not be able to work tomorrow either. So, and Phil, and go figure that the 2 days that we know that Phil's available during the week is Monday and Tuesday, and we're not going to be able to do nothing. So what that means is next weekend, we're going to be, as soon as this clears up, we're going to be wide ass open. We'll work all the way until it rains again. And that's why I never take days off, when it's not getting rain. And that's why we usually end up getting a little bit light on work as the dry days keep stacking up. The more dry days you have, the more you can work, but the less the grass is growing and everything else. So, but another reason why I built the shop. So on days like today, I can do something constructive. I probably got to go and change the oil and the fuel filters and the oil filters and the Exmark mowers. I know that I did the video yesterday and about the Skag and about dude, having to replace 3 spindles with 300 hours on the spindles and stuff. And my thinking, and still is my thinking, kind of, is that when you keep fooling around with the mower stuff, and guys that are green in the game, that how can I put it without sounding like a dick? I can't. Guys that are new in the game, and I was that guy. I was new in the game, and I was that guy. I get a nice, pretty machine, like a Skag or an Exmark or whatever, and I would be wanting to, make sure I follow every freaking thing in the manual. Now when I buy a mower, I don't even look at the manual. So that tells you and nothing wrong with being maintenance conscious. We all have to be, but always fooling around and playing around with the mowers, something's going to go wrong. They're not really designed for you to tinker with every day. I mean, I'm not saying some people just get into that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that, and that's how you learn. But usually, it's going to cost you something to learn. But we do have to maintain the equipment. But when you maintain the equipment, there are two or three components on the mowers. This is just my opinion, and I got a disclaimer and all that mess. But the things I worry about on a lawnmower are engine and engine oil, okay, hydros, okay, and the drive motors, the hydro pump, whatever the hydros, whatever that is, and tire pressure. It's about all I really worry about on my lawnmowers. Now, I have eliminated one of those, tire pressure, by having 12 tires. So we can scratch that off the list. The other two components are the hydros and the engine oil, fuel filter, air filter. Pretty basic stuff, man. I've seen some videos online where guys changing the spark plugs with 300. You don't stop it. Stop it. Well, you got to change the spark plugs. It'll run better. I used to think that. I did. I used to think all that. And if there's something going on, then of course, but I never have nothing go wrong with my freaking mowers because I keep my freaking fingers out of them. I don't play with them. I don't damn do unnecessary stuff to them. I run them. I damn make sure that there's oil and the air filter is good and the fuel filter is good and the hydros are good. Well, the hydros, I might change the hydro fluid once in the lifetime of a mower, usually around 1,000 hours or so, give or take. I have not changed the hydro oil in my newest mower, but all the other mowers I have. And if I buy a used mower, I may change the hydro oil in it. I'm definitely going to change the motor oil and going to go through it before I ever even buy it. But after I buy it, I'm definitely going to change the motor oil. So I'll have a baseline of when the oil was changed last. Usually I change the oil in these mowers roughly every 50 or 60 hours, something like that. And I use all synthetic oil. I mean, I don't know, 10W30 synthetic. That's what I use. And then as the mower gets older, I'll use engine oil that is synthetic, but made for older machines or older vehicles, whatever. And I use 10W30 for my area where I'm at. We don't ever get real cold here. And if we do, I'm not running the mowers in it anyway. So, yeah. So that's the two or three key components. Of course, you gotta, a lot of little things too. But for maintenance checks and maintenance stuff, that's what I look at. And I have eliminated the tire pressure by having wheels. So that's one less thing I got to worry about. There's plenty of, and that's what that's what I guess really in me doing these type of videos where I'm talking about all that maintenance stuff. the reason I'm talking about all that, because I see a lot of guys going overkill and they're wasting a lot of time. You know, uh, I mean, you do all that maintenance on it, you still got to take the freaking thing into the dealer to get, you know, spindles replaced. You know, the guy Jay up there in Kentucky, you know, he's having to rent a lawnmower. I mean, because of a spindle went out. And I think he said the lawnmower rental, I think that he said the rental was costing, I think he said $170 a day or something. I've been in business a long time, and I've never rented a lawnmower, not ever. Not because I'm a special, unique guy, no. It's because in a time where I didn't have a lawnmower, a backup lawnmower, where I only had one mower, I always had a tractor mower or something to fall back on. You know, that's just me. I didn't just have one lawnmower when well, by the time I got to these commercial mowers, I had residential mowers and I went through them. And so I might have had a tractor mower or something. But what I did there after I got done with all the tractor mowers and all the residential mowers, and I started going to the commercial mowers, and I got rid of all the you know, the homeowner mowers, because that's kind of what I started with. After I did all that, what I would do, if the dealer, you know, if I never really had one go down like that though, where they held it that long and it was the only mower I had. The only problem I've ever had, really major problem that I've ever had with the Exmark mowers, well, not, and it's just one of them, and it's the engine, and it's really not an Exmark thing. The Kohler, what is it? It's the 940. 35 horsepower, fuel injected, EVC 940 or whatever. It surges. That's the only problem I've ever had. Everything else I have, well, the dealer's never had it, you know. But probably what I would have done, and I don't know, you know, Jay's circumstances up there, probably what I would have done, considering I don't have, you know, 50 or 60 lawns a week I'm doing, I probably would have just put the customers off, because 2 days is not going to, I think he said he's going to be renting it for 2 days. 2 days rental at, you know, we'll say, I think he said $175 a day or something like that. So $340 for 2 days, whatever that is, what, $170 a day. Now, if I have a whole lot of work, and I know that I have a whole lot of work, and I'm going to have to rent a mower, or, you know, my mower's gone for, you know, 2 or 3 days, it's a hard spot to be in, for sure. Especially in the beginning, because $340 is I mean, damn, dude, that's my profit for a day. I mean, that's everything. So I'm not really going to be making anything. But what I would try to do, if I'm in that spot, and I'm not telling Jay what to do, and I'm not dogging him out. I mean, you know, I know I've come at him hard before, but I'm trying to reel back from that and just talk about things that, well, I'm trying to reel back from going after him, because he is trying, and he is out here in the mix, and he is showing. So, you know, and he is, you know, pretty straightforward too. You know, I mean, a lot of guys probably rent mowers and they don't ever tell nobody if they're, you know, and I'm not going to go into Skag being, you know, crappy mower and all that, but they're not built like they used to be. I'll say that. But anyway, probably what I would do if I was him in that spot, I would probably just not work for those 2 days. If he's, that's probably what I would do. Now, of course, I don't know all the specifics, and I don't know what the weather's going to do. There's a lot of factors that will play into whether I'm going to rent one or not. If I know I'm fixing to get a week of rain after the 2 days, then okay, I might have to go and rent one. Probably not though, because I'm not gonna want to give up. I'm not gonna want to give up my profit, especially just starting out. Yeah, I can't really think of a time where that's happened to me. And then a lot of times, these dealers, and I'm just FYI, man. I mean, I got a lot of experience with dealers and with all these mowers and Skag mowers too. I've had quite a few of them. I have flipped quite a few of them as well back in the day. But I've only owned one that I used in the business, and that was the Turf Tiger 2, and I hated it. But that's, everybody knows that. But if I'm gonna, it's a hard call to make, and it's according to what you got to do, how many yards you got, what the schedule's going to look like if you take off 2 days, and all that. Because in my world, we're doing more yards than he is. In my world, if I only had one mower, I'm probably not going to rent one. Not unless, you don't ever want to say you're not going to do something, but I'm probably not. I never have before. Not unless I got some crazy lucrative job I'm in the middle of and I got to finish. Now, I might do that. Or if I know that the weather's going to be stupid, after that. And I'm pretty candid with my customers, and I'll tell the customers, I'm going to have to put you off till Thursday, we're on the schedule for, Monday. I'm going to have to put you off till Thursday, and I'll just tell them that. But I got a lot of experience out here. My customers, and none of my customers are new. If they're new, they've been referred in some way. So there's no worries. They don't worry about it, right? You got to instill confidence in the customer, where the customer is very confident that you're going to do your very best to make it happen for them, right, on the reg. And the only way to really instill confidence is by doing, right? And he hasn't had time to really do yet. He's just in his first season, and but there's so many things that can go wrong. What if that mower breaks down? I mean, and you're paying all that money. That's why I don't like renting equipment at all. And I'm not saying I won't never rent a mower, but I'd much rather have that X mark I got in my building, my backup, on a job than any rental. And it's got 2,500 hours on it. But I probably made $150,000 with that mower in the time that I've had it. I'm not telling a lie. If you do the math on a mower, you can see how, but you got to have the work. That's the thing that people don't get. Oh, 18,000, 15,000, 14,000, 10,000, whatever for a mower right down, man. Right, but it's a business. You're not buying it for your house. You're buying it to make money with. Don't you want the very top to make money with? I do. Because I want to know that if I can't cut it, can't nobody cut it. I got to know that. That gives me a boost of confidence that my numbers are going to work. And this is not a dig at Jay or nothing. I've told Jay that, that I'm going to chill out on coming after him hardcore, because y'all got to admit the dude is trying, and y'all got to admit he has turned the corner a little bit in his demeanor, right? Because if being self-employed don't do anything else, it will humble you. And if it don't, and I'm talking about in this in a lawn care game, if it don't humble you some, the heat will. Oh, if the heat don't humble you some, then problem solving will. And he said a really good thing in his video that I thought was really good. And I wish I had, recognized that when I was first in the game like he was, or like he is, I should say, is to be in business like I am and like he is and like a lot of you guys are, you have to be a problem solver, whatever that takes. And if you don't learn nothing else being self-employed in this game, I can't speak for other games, but in this game, you're going to learn to be a problem solver, or you're not going to be in business. And kudos to him for, being a problem solver. Though I wouldn't have taken that route, that's okay. It's hard for me to go back and when I was into my head, when I was in my first or second year in. I don't remember all the things that went wrong, but a whole lot did before I started buying the commercial mowers. Now, once you buy a commercial mower, these little things should not be a problem. And the dealer should have blade bolts in stock. Mine do. My dealer has every part. And before I go and rent a mower, I'm just giving information. Before I go rent a mower, I'm going to call another dealer and see if I can go over there and pick up a bolt. That's me. Before I go to spending $400 or $370, whatever, $340, whatever it costs to rent a machine. Now, if I got $10,000 worth of work and it's going to cost me $400 to rent a machine, okay, I'll probably do that if But if I can push things around a little bit, problem solve in another way, then that's probably what I would do. I don't think that I would rent a machine, but rent a lawnmower. And they rent them around here, and they're about the same price. I've seen them at the rental yards. Around here they rent Hustlers. And I want to say about $130, $140 a day, something like that. But and I don't know if you guys have rented lawnmowers before or not. I don't see a scenario where I would do that. I know I wouldn't do it now, but I don't see a scenario that I've ever been in where I would do that. If I'm a commercial business and I buy a new Skag from a dealer, and that Skag has issues right away, like Jay's has, my dealer's going to give me a demo. Yeah. Because I'm gonna be in there telling them, hey man, I need a mower. Give me and there now my dealer my dealer will give me a demo, but it ain't gonna be no brand new mower or nothing they got on the line. It's gonna be one they got back there in the back somewhere that's yeah. That'll get the job done, but it ain't got no bells and whistles. I had what did I have where a mower went down and I needed a demo? I can't think. I think it was my Skag Turf Tiger 2 went down, was when I first got it. The very first yard I put my Turf Tiger 2 on, and I got a video on it, and I engaged the blades, the pulley in the back, because the pulleys go around the bottom of the back of the machine like that, to the deck. And one of the pulleys up in there, the arm broke, the whole thing. And come to find out, it was a manufacturer issue. And I had to take it back. I couldn't, I hadn't had no hours on it. It was brand new. The first yard I ever put it on. It didn't last 30 minutes, and it was back up on the trailer. Luckily, I had an X-Mark with me too, and I went on and did that route with the X-Mark. But then I went over to the dealer, you know, that afternoon, and I called them right away, and I said, "Hey, y'all got a demo, man? Because man, I got this brand new mower. I just paid all this money for, and you know." And uh, they said, "Sure, bring it in, and let's we'll try to round you up a demo." And that's what they did. So then I had the demo for 3 or 4 days, and then they called me, "Hey, bring the demo back. We got your mower ready." They had to order the part, you know. But for parts like blade bolts and stuff, you know, the long bolt, I guess that's what he's talking about, the long bolt that Skag has, they ought to have those in stock. And if not, they sell them at the freaking, you can go to freaking hardware store and buy them. It's just a bolt. I would. I would get one better than the one they got. I'd get a grade 8 because the ones they got on there ain't grade 8. I know people are going to say, "Oh, you don't know."